For 1-point perspective, you always start by drawing a small dot in the center of your paper. It doesn't have to be exactly in the center, and you can vary it by changing it to be up or down. Surrounding this dot, you are going to draw a small square, which will turn into the back of your room. If you have a ruler, try using that, and if you don't, you can use any straight edge like a book or something else. The smaller your square, the farther your room is going to look like it goes. So I'm going to have a pretty small square so it can look like I have a big room. If you had a bigger square, your room would look smaller and not as deep. Okay, so after you have this small square surrounding your dot, you're going to create lines to make the walls of your room to make it look three-dimensional. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that every line you create needs to go towards this dot. This dot is called your vanishing point. 1-point perspective is a drawing method that shows how things appear to get smaller as they get further away. And as they get further away, all the lines converge to meet your vanishing point, which is that small dot at the center of your paper. So on every corner of your box, make sure you're lining up your your ruler to this dot right here. And every line comes from that dot. Now you have the general layout of your room and you can start doing furniture. Keeping in mind that all the furniture should also be going towards your vanishing point at the center unless it is a horizontal line. I'm going to start by drawing the backboard of my bed. But your room and your furniture can be in different places and different sizes and different looks than mine. But the most important thing to keep in mind is that every single line, unless it is horizontal or vertical, it will go towards this dot at the center. Now you can start creating other furniture and different things around your room, but make sure you're following the steps of 1-point perspective. So I'm going to do a window coming off of this line here. For my window and for all of my furniture, I'm going to do a double line to make it look like it's more 3D rather than just straight pencil lines, and I think this adds some good detail to your paper. Now that I have some furniture and some basic lines all around my paper, I'm going to start adding detail, and the detail is totally up to you. So you can continue and add more furniture, or you can go ahead and start adding details to make your room unique. When you're doing your details, keep in mind that for 1-point perspective, the idea is that things do get smaller as they get towards the vanishing point. So even for your details, like when I'm doing these lines on my rug, I'm going to make sure that my lines get smaller as I get towards the back of the room or towards the vanishing point. Now just continue and create details all around your room to make it special. The next step would be to completely outline all your pencil lines using a pen. I did that already, And now after you do that, you take your eraser and erase all over your paper to make sure that the pencil disappears and only the pen is left over. Once you completely erase your paper and you're just left with the nice pen lines, you can choose to use color if you have them. If you have color, remember, just like with our portrait paintings, everything that is farther is darker. So if I had my walls red, I would make my back wall a dark shade of red, and they would fade from dark to light as they get closer to the viewer. If you don't have markers or color pencils or something to color it in, use your pen to add shading and detail. So I can go into my rug, for example, and I'm going to add details using my pen. You can do this as well if you're going to color also, just to add some extra details to your picture. So I would continue all over and do whatever I can to add more detail, and send me a copy of your paper when you're done.